I am Kesten Rono, and you are here for another Lights Off After Dark exploration of A Course in Miracles. Today is day 68, and I invite you to unfix your gaze from the video you expected and notice whatever it is that you may notice about yourself in reflection of today's ideas. Principles of Miracles. Number 8. Miracles are healing because they supply a lack. They are performed by those who temporarily have more, for those who temporarily have less. Okay, miracles are healing. A declaration that miracles are healing. It feels incongruent to proclaim it's a miracle about an event that could be causing dis-ease, destruction, or death. It's a miracle, we imagine, is the highlight of a healing spectacle at the moment that we learn about it, that it is innately miraculous, whether or not this is fully encompassing whatever a miracle is. Miracles feel, as their very nature, must be healing. Miracles are healing because they supply a lack. That is, they are offering something to a lack, like filling the void in a vacuum space. What do miracles offer? Love. They are expressions of love, and all expressions of love are maximal. They are naturally occurring expressions of love, inspired by love. Everything that comes from love is a miracle. Miracles mean life, and they are everyone's right, so long as that person is able to perceive them through the process of purification, by learning to forgive. Okay. Miracles are healing because they supply a lack. They are love and life, light. They are performed by those who temporarily have more, for those who temporarily have less. If we are to weave this into what we've been saying lately with the exercises themselves, we can see where we fit in this spectrum. That if we are on a quest for alignment with the Holy Spirit, for an idea of true vision, to be able to see the truth in all things, then we are gaining something. We know it is a blessing to give and to receive, that we are strengthened through this process of forgiveness, and that we are cleansed in this way. And to accept your opportunity, right, responsibility as the Son of God, as the light of the world, in the position, whether or not you knew it, in the position to offer to salvation to the Son of God, to yourself, to all minds. This is you listening now. They are performed miracles by those who temporarily have more, for those who temporarily have less. That if you are accepting this new perspective, curious about alignment with the Holy Spirit, that you are becoming someone who, relative to your perspective in the past, image making, aligned with the ego and fear. You are becoming someone who temporarily has more, relative to you who temporarily had less, where more and less is the ability to see. You are having a greater ability to see versus the habitual inclination to image make when subject to a cycle of attack thoughts. Seeing yourself as innately vulnerable, therefore scared, and it is stepping through this process of noticing how we feel and offering forgiveness for ourselves and for others, releasing these old ideas, these illusions, recognizing ourselves in the present, its gift, and being curious about what it is we are and what we may notice about ourselves, oriented towards truth and allowing all the other forms of ideas to which we have been bound, allowing them to dissolve, to turn the volume down on them, and tune in to the original channel connected to God. You may see yourself as someone who temporarily has more rather than someone who temporarily has less. That we are on our way to seeing. This is your right. This is natural. You are alive, experiencing miracles, and you may align with ideas and expressions of love rather than with darkness, illusion, and untruth. And it is this process of aligning with the miracle, which may be healing in its own right. Love created me like itself. Lesson 68. Love holds no grievances. Please repeat this idea. Love holds no grievances. You who were created by love, like itself, can hold no grievances and know yourself. Okay, so fundamentally, pausing here, knowing ourselves and knowing grievances are in conflict with each other. That if we choose to know grievances, we are in conflict with the idea of knowing ourselves. If we choose to know the illusions of the ego and call them safety when we do not feel safe, then we are in conflict with the idea that God offers us perfect peace and perfect safety. And perfect peace and perfect safety, as fundamental ideas themselves, do not have an expression of anything other than perfect peace and perfect safety. That attacking to find peace and attacking to find safety are fundamental untruths. We cannot be in alignment with grievance and with love itself. But I will continue reading. You who were created by love like itself can hold no grievances and know yourself. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body, To hold your grievance is to let the ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. Pausing here. We are remembering that our vulnerability is associated with our body, that fear is of the flesh, that if we are affirming a body identity, we will not be able to see through the lens of our spiritual self, and to affirm our spirit identity and to deny our body identity as an exercise for seeing allows us to move into a realm where we may see who we are, what we are. And to get there, we set aside our grievances through forgiveness that we have accumulated and believed needed to have weight through the lens of our body. Perhaps you do not yet fully realize just what holding grievances does to your mind. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. It makes you believe that he is like what you think you have become, for no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. It is the act of binding ourselves to our grievances that ensures we stay firmly separate from God. Remember, this is an illusion. We are never separate from God. But to be in alignment with God would be to be sinless. We would have to accept that this is possible for us. That requires humility, not arrogance. It is arrogant to remain separate from God, to think that you somehow know best, to organize life, your mind, everything that you could encounter. But it is illogical to imagine that with less information, you could somehow organize something as perfectly as someone, something, an idea, your father, with all information. It is a childish thought, and we are fighting against someone who would not ever dream of hurting us. That to be aligned with God is to be sinless. To become innocent means that we must move from a guilty perspective. And God, our source, being love, miracles, their source being love, their expression being love, their meaning being life. God is the giver of life. And if the source is love, love as an idea, as whatever love is, does not come equipped with condemnation. Condemnation is what condemns. Love loves. So to accept that we have been condemned is to wear our own idea. And looking at life through our physical lens, we are associating the condemnation that we see with the Creator. That if we exist, we must be created by something that existed that way. Just for the simple law that you cannot give what you do not have, and you can only give, therefore, whatever it is that you are. So if we are seeing ourselves as condemned, guilty, fearful, or any other version of upsets, we are fundamentally mistaken. We are not birthed out of love, if this is how we see the world. But we are birthed out of love, that we are fundamentally loved, that the idea of unconditional love is an idea. I've never heard of an idea of unconditional hate. It feels incongruent just saying it. To create out of hate feels fundamentally misaligned, as love holds no grievances, that grievances are our own accepted way of seeing the world, and then in our arrogance, we are assigning our angst to the Creator and condemning Him back. Holding grievances seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike Him. It seems to. It makes you believe that He is like what you think you have become, for no one can conceive of his Creator as unlike Himself. Shut off from yourself, which remains aware of its likeness to its Creator, yourself seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Oh, yes. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love, and his Creator has become fearful to him in his dream of hate. Who can dream of hatred and not fear God? This section is saying that we are creating our own illusion, that it is just not true that you are created out of grievances. You were created out of love and imagined that you must feel your grievances and therefore must assign them to whomever created you. As you cannot be separate from God, maybe we know this innately. So we have some part of us, the truth, still connected to God out of love, waiting patiently, wholly unchanged, unconditional. This is the truth. This part of us dormant to our awareness when we demand that we must be some other way, that it must be hard to have meaning, and that we want pain for some version of understanding. And we associate what we are seeing around us as created by God in pain and condemnation. And we have grievances, which is our cycle of attacks. We break out of this cycle by daring ourselves, by having faith and trust that if we forgive, we notice something different than what we have been discovering within this current system, which we are creating for ourselves, imagining, after all, that we are separate from God or need to be or could be ever at all. We are here to forgive. Why dream of hatred and fear God when He would only have you be happy when you are ready? It is as sure that those who hold grievances will redefine God in their own image, as it is certain that God created them like Himself and defined them as part of Him. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will forget who they are, as it is certain that those who forgive will remember. That forgiveness is the key. It is simply the process of releasing your grievances, your upsets, and stepping outside of the cycle of attacks, as illogical as that appears to be, as risky as that appears to be, as much of a sacrifice we imagine that it is. But it is aligning our minds with whatever is on the other side of releasing our grievances that allows us to see and understand an idea like love, our connection to God, and therefore live our lives through this lens. If you are in alignment with God, love, and truth, and you are expressing the truth, whatever could you imagine that you need to be afraid of? Whatever could you imagine you will need to forgive? At some point, it feels that resting in your invulnerability, sharing peace, love, abundance, truth, expressing this with all minds, and however it is that we are our mind in our bodies, being this idea as purely as we may ever be allowed to be it, which I suppose is all the way, being created by God and part of His definition, that part of whatever His total peace is, His love and understanding includes you. You are vital as one of many things. You are vital in the definition of all there is, including perfect peace and perfect safety and freedom from worry for all minds. It is as sure to hold grievances that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, that they will redefine God in their own image, that they will forget who they are, anyone who holds grievances. And those who forgive will remember who they are. They will remember that God created them like themselves and are part of God's definition. Those who forgive their grievances will find peace. Would you not be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all were so? Perhaps you do not think you can let your grievances go. That, however, is simply a matter of motivation. Today we will try to find out how you would feel without them. If you succeed, even by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. Love holds no grievances. Please consider this idea again. Love holds no grievances. We want to let our grievances go. There is no grievance that you are holding on to that you can recall right now, that you feel innately within you, that you desire to hold on to. What you desire is peace, ultimately. If there is no peace in your grievance, you are stating the truth. If you feel you are at peace because you have grievances, you know this is not true. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as major grievances. Some of these will be quite easy to find. Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those like, Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like and even think you love. It will quickly become apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. This has left you alone in all the universe in your perception of yourself. Okay, we will be thinking of grievances by those it is easy to remember and discover, and we will think of grievances that we are actively maintaining for those whom we love. I'm grateful for this book, for asking me to see the difference and realize that even my cherished friends and family, I'm potentially holding or definitely holding grievances towards. May I offer forgiveness and let these go. Determine now to see all these people as friends. Say to them all, thinking of each one in turn as you do so, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. I'm reminded again of the statement, there is something I do not like about you in me. I would see you as my friend. Why is this important? Well, even though the book is highlighting that we likely are holding grievances in regards to our friends, fundamentally, we believe that the idea of friendship is one of, well, truth, a place of safety and reflection, that grievances need not take hold for very long amongst true friends, that communicating what and how we are is appreciated and allowed amongst friends. There's a natural support system and an understanding that there is a process occurring. And we have an idea of our best interest in mind, our friend's best interest in mind. They're holding our best interest in mind. That's what friendship is. Rather than believing that someone else is wronging you, may you say, there is something I do not like about you in me. May you say, I would see you as my friend, that that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. That when we realize that the interactions we are having with others are somehow intertwined with whatever it is that we are, when we allow ourselves to unite, we may see more of whatever it is that we are and come to know ourselves by participating in this union of friendship. I suppose this is saying that to test your wholeness in forgiveness, would you allow yourself to consider anyone whom you forgive to potentially be your friend? Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you, and that you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. Let's repeat that. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you, and that you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you, and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. I can feel the ideas of grievances and love. I can feel how grievance can be having grievance about whatever it is to be in love. A grievance needs some idea about which to grieve for it to have justification for living, that I could be caught up in my grievances. That when I do not treat myself well, I am operating from some lens of grievance. It feels like there is another way which I have felt that if I am aligning with the idea of love, I would be seeing it in all of the effects around me. That fundamentally, I would have no grievance with wanting to treat myself out of love, with love. May I notice my motivation, but my devotion, my connection to love. May I notice that harboring grievances does not leave space for love itself, its voice, God's voice, to reveal to me that I have been created from love itself, that I am aligned and can be aligned with love itself, that this is the truth. And as I move closer in this direction, such that anything is closer, I become the truth. And the truth is, I would like to treat myself well, that I would like to be in love, that I would like to emanate peace and safety and freedom from worry, opportunity to notice, to heal, to see our grievances, to see them for what they are, and to let them go, to forgive. May I be a model of this. Even if it appears I'm doing it poorly, may I be a model of this way of thinking, by setting aside my grievances, by forgiving myself, and by being strengthened in love. At the end of this practice period, tell yourself, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. This is a very logical statement. If you exist foundationally, and then atop it, you wear all these ideas of grievances, justifications for attacks, illusions of safety. And if you let go of the things that you condemn and which you believe condemn you, if you forgive, you do not need to live through some lens of guilt. You may discover your innocence as each grievance is released, and we say, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me, and therefore come to know myself. As we release each one of these grievances, they are not part of how we are burying our true self, our foundation. They are released. If you can imagine 9 grievances, each one being released, therefore no longer in your imagination, no longer atop your mind. When the final grievance is released, there you are. There you are. If you can imagine yourself here, there, in that space, with all grievances, whatever they are, having been released from atop you, from atop your mind. They are not here now. It is just you. What are you, then, with no grievances? You are perfectly safe. You are in a space with no grievances. It is just you. And the idea of grievances does not exist here. You are perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. The short practice periods should include a quick application of today's idea in this form. Whenever any thought of grievance arises against anyone, physically present or not, you will say, Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. And myself here is 2 words, capital S. If you're finding any grievance against anyone, physically present or not, simply say, Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. If you are honoring your grievances, and if you are made by love itself, then you are not honoring love, and you are love if you are created from love. You do not believe you are created from grievance. Try that on. Are you created from grievance, or are you created from love? Fundamentally, at your core, it requires no thought. You know which one must be true. If you accept grievance, if you demand that grievance must be true, you are declaring that you believe now that you are created. You must still see your life in grievance. The truth is, you do not know physically what it was like when you were formed. But here you are, conscious, able to reflect and realize that if you're assigning that to other physical ideas that remind you of pain, then you are assigning you to those ideas. You are accepting an umbrella of grievances. It is not that because you notice them, you must be defiant and therefore declare them. It is because you notice them that you have the ability to forgive them. Do not betray yourself. Love holds no grievances. In addition, repeat the idea several times an hour in this form. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in Him. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in Him. I don't know if I expect you or me to be using that language and for it to be meaningful. But as you walk around today, eyes open or closed, every hour, allow yourself to say, love holds no grievances. I'm setting my grievances aside to wake up to myself, to wake up to God. If you find yourself upset, please say, love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself, or let me honor myself in love. And one time today, search your mind for anyone for whom you hold major grievance. Then allow yourself to notice minor grievances that you hold against people that you like or that you love. It is you believing that you must have grievances for those whom you think you love that it leaves you alone in all the universe, in your perception of yourself. That having the grievances is fundamentally incongruent with love itself. And if you want to be aligned with love itself, which is wholly unchanged, unconditional, forever patient and accepting, the only requirement is that you release all grievances. It is not a judgment to have had grievances. It is just the way that it is, that anything is, that if you want to be in perfect peace and perfect safety and freedom from worry, you cannot hold grievances. That is the ticket to love, to release grievances, that miracles are a fundamental right of every person, but purification is first required. If you want to be in love, to fully be connected to your source of love and its expression of love through you, to see life through your holiness, to know perfect peace and perfect safety, to be able to share this freedom from worry with all minds, to heal, to be healing, to be connected to God, to know formless, limitless light and life. If you want these things, you must fully become love. Love is ever welcoming. It is love. All that is required is to set aside all we have ever thought needed to be important, including our grievances. As you were able to recall major and minor grievances in today's exercise, see these people as friends. Each one by one, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are a part of me, so I may come to know myself. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you, and that you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you, and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. I am Kesten Rono, and I am sustained by the love of God.